Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago is recognized.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your kindness, Senator Grace Poe. Mr. Cunanan, ang gulo naman ng scholastic record mo. Para kang chameleon kung saan-saan ka lumulundag. Oh, ito. Primero kumuha ka ng public ad. Tapos kumuha ka ng commerce. Tapos kumuha ng law. Pagkatapos, you ended up with public administration. You're a character. I'm very perplexed. Here, let me read to you. You were enrolled in UP Diliman in BA Public Administration, but you only earned 144 units. Bakit hindi ka nagtapos sa UP? Nabagsak ka ba?
Inabutan na po ako, ma'am, ng Your Honor, ng maximum residency po.
Yan. Bagsak ka nga.
Opo, opo.
Nag-overstaying ka.
Opo.
Ibig sabihin dapat, kung mayroong kang kurso, normally you should only take 4 years. Pag lumpas ka na, 5 taon ka na, overstaying ka na. So, UP will ask you to desist from enrolling anymore. Oh, problema na tayo ngayon kaagad. Pagkatapos, you graduated from Lacson College, BS Commerce in 2005. I know that your middle name is Dennis Lacson Cunanan. Are you related to the owner of Lacson College?
Not I know po, Your Honor.
Bakit naman itong pinili mo, Lacson College? Let us just say from possibly the best known of all the Philippine universities, you next enrolled in one of the least known colleges of our country. Why was that?
From there po kasi, Your Honor, I have a moist eye to looking at yung Philippine Law School na nandun din, nakasama doon sa college na yon.
So kumuha ka ng commerce para maging abogado ka? Yan bang sinasabi mo?
Hindi naman po, Your Honor.
Ano nasabi mong moist eye mo?
Convenient.
Pakialam ko.
Opo, convenient po yung venue, Your Honor.
That's not a reason. Here is Lacson College, here is Philippine Law School in the same building, and you're telling me, I took up commerce because I intended to take up law. That doesn't sound logical. Come on, let it go, according to the song. Let it go, let it go. Oh, well, anyway, if that is your answer, then you took up Bachelor of Laws in Philippine Law School. As you said, you were already thinking of taking up law. Why are not listed in the role of attorneys? Did you take the bar and nagbagsak ka na naman?
Hindi po, Your Honor. I think...
you never took the bar?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why is that?
I feel, Your Honor, that going that extent will entail a lot of time for me to really go deep into reviewing and going all through this process, Your Honor.
And then you took up MA in Public Administration in a place called Lyceum Northwestern University. I know from research that is located in Dagupan, Pangasinan.
Yes,
So
Your Honor.
bumalik ka na naman sa public administration mo. And then, I want to know, since you have been 10 years in the Technology Research Center, 4 years of which you spent there as Director General, I want to know, nag-eskwela ka, working student ka ba? Kasi 2010 to 2013, Director General ka na. You graduated Bachelor of Laws in 2009 and MA Public Administration 2013. Paano mo natapos itong mga kurso na ito habang Director General ka na?
Opo. They happen to be outside of working hours po, Your Honor. Yung pong sa Lyceum Northwestern University, once a week na every Sunday po yung event. Plus po yung kasing isang anak namin nasa Dagupan. So, we frequent the place, Your Honor.
Well, I must at least commend you for your academic commitment, although I said, and I still remain, puzzled why you were jumping from one college to another. O ngayon, pupunta na tayo sa talagang issue natin. It appears, maybe to the person who is only cursorily following up the pork barrel investigation that we are conducting, that the issue here is whether the signatures of Senators Revilla and Estrada, and even that of Senator Enrile, were forged, because that is what they claim in their counter affidavits with the Ombudsman. Hindi naman totoo na kumuha kami ng kickback sa mga perang dumaan sa Technology Resource Center. Ang mga papeles dyan na mayroon naming mga lagda, puro yan mga peke na lagda. Hindi ba? Pero hindi yan ang issue eh. Because for me, as a former RTC judge, that can only be resolved by the testimonies of handwriting experts. It's not a question of pointing fingers at each other. Instead, for me, I humbly submit, Mr. Chair, Senator Gincona, that this is the real issue. Did these senators insist on choosing their own NGOs dahil hindi ka makuha ng kickback kung hindi mo na mapera yung pork barrel mo? Kaya para makuha mo yung pera, nung dati pang pinapayagan ang pork barrel, ang sistema ay ganito. Pag nabigyan ka na ng notisya na meron kang pork barrel, then you name your implementing agency. That is named in the Budget Appropriations Act. In the Appropriations Act, these are, for example, local government units or such other administrative agencies of the government as the TRC or Technology Resource Center. Ngayon, pag pinadaan mo dito sa implementing agencies, wala ka pang kickback niyan. Kasi pupunta yung cheque doon sa kanila. It is only when the legislator talks to the implementing agency and insists that a certain NGO and only that NGO can be given the project na mapipera na ngayon yung pera at kukuha ng kickback ngayon si legislator. Yun ang rason kung bakit hindi sila maawat. Araw-araw nandyan sila, nakaparking sila. Sarili nila, pupunta sila. Either representative nila or personal nila. Nakakahiya, nakaupo sila doon, nag-aantay sila para ilabas ang pera para kukunin na nila yung discounted na kickback nila. Kaya yun ang real issue dito eh. Nung dumaan ng pera sa TRC as one of the implementing agencies named under the General Appropriations Act or GAA, did these senators that you have mentioned insist on choosing their own NGOs? Kasi kung may pera kang pork barrel, sabihin mo, ang implementing agency ko is, in my case, the province of Iloilo because that is my province. And then I just leave it to them. Wala akong pakialam. Basta itong halaga ng pera ko, pinapunta ko doon sa kanila, tapos na. Ngayon kung pipilitin ko, pero gusto ko, may proyekto talaga ako. Dito sa bayan na ito, dito sa tulay na ito, o sa kalsada na ito, o sa DAM na ito, ibig sabihin, nangingikbak ako niyan. That is the real issue. So let us, with that as a background, let us verify whether your claims are true or not. Whether the claims of the senators and the congressmen involved are true or not. As an RTC judge, I've had experience with many weird phenomena inside the courtroom. It's possible in one case, everyone is telling a lie. Pareho silang nagsisinungaling. It's possible in one case, everyone is telling the truth. Pareho silang nagsasabi ng totoo, kaya lang, kalahating totoo lang nakita ng isa, kalahating totoo lang. And then, a very embarrassing combination of all of these versions of the real, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Ngayon, una, you are an accused in a plunder case. You've taken laws, you understand what this means, right? You're an accused.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ngayon, nag-apply ka for state witness. Isn't that so? In fact, you've been provisionally admitted to the Witness Protection Program.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ngayon, ang gusto ko malaman ay ganito. We have 5 requirements for a state witness. 1, that there is absolute necessity for your testimony. 2, that there is no other direct evidence except your testimony. 3, that your testimony can be substantiated, at least on its material points. 4, that you are not the most guilty. Maraming versions nitong formula, pero the real version is, you are not the most guilty. Malayo ka sa you are not the most guilty. You're just Director General of some administrative agency. And then, 5, that you have not been convicted of an offense involving moral turpitude. Ngayon, let us focus on this requirement that you have direct evidence. Paano kang direct evidence? Na according to your affidavit, which you submitted to the Department of Justice, you did not meet these people personally. You just talk to the representatives. Paano kang maging direct witness? Anong direct yan?
Your Honor, una po, when the document was presented to us, for example, yung una po.
May I please ask for may I please appeal to the chairperson, Senator Gincona, for the privilege of sitting there so that I don't have to keep on swiveling my neck. I'm having a problem.
Okay.
Thank
Session
you.
suspended.
Please proceed. Thank you.
Session resumed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Chair. Your Honor, when we implement PDAF, particularly in TRC, we don't deal with individuals, but we deal with the Office of the Legislator. So, when we encounter letters, Your Honor, that says there is somebody else who is going to represent the person who is the principal, basically the legislator, automatic, we need to verify. We need to verify in the sense na para humalaman kung sila ba talaga ay authorized. Dahil yung mga ibang dokumento po hindi napipirmahan ng legislator.
Senator Gingona, please, excuse me. Please answer the question directly. The question is, isang tanong, isang tagot lang. I told you, let it go. Kasi mahirap kasi magsinungaling under oath eh.
Opo.
Whenever someone is involved in a case, a former RTC judge, I always say, just tell the truth because that is the least complicated. Ngayon, ang problema natin ay ganito. Ang requirement para maging state witness ay isa. There should be no other direct evidence except your testimony. Unlike the Ruby Tuason case, where she said, I talked to him, I saw him in front of me, you're not saying the same thing. You're not saying that you had direct conversation. You're saying, I called them on the telephone. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, paano maging direct evidence ang telephone call?
Part po ng verification po namin ng document na nasa harapan ko at that time, Your Honor. So when we called, their office answered and then we were able to verify to the legislator himself.
Tingnan mo lang directory. Anong office ni Senator X, ni Senator Y? Tapos tawagan mo at pag sinabi niya, oo, opisina nga ito ni Senator X or Y, sige ka na. Ganon ang verification process mo?
Yes, Your Honor. What we did is we check on the officially listed office of the legislator and then we called po.
Ang
on
hina
Senator.
naman. May 5% ang TRC if it disperses these PDAF funds of the legislators, hindi ba? Kumikita ang TRC dito eh. Ginagawa nilang kakikitaan nila ang pork barrel ng mga senador. Isn't that so? So, to deserve your 5% as the deputy and then eventually as director general of the TRC, you should have made a more thorough system or you should have designed a more thorough procedure for verifying whether you're actually talking to the person or that person is just talking through representatives that might even have authorized. But let me set that aside for a while. Sabi mo sa affidavit mo, you met Napoles, who at that time was professing herself by the nickname of Jenny. And then, eventually, you met somebody called Evelyn De Leon, who was also representing an NGO. Nang nakita mo itong dalawa, hindi ka na ba nagsuspetsa na may kickback itong mga halaga na ito? Bakit mga taga-NGO ito, sigasig na sigasig silang kumuha ng pera? In the first place, they're non-government organizations. And one of the requirements of the law for an NGO to be validated is that you'd not be receiving any support from the government. Kaya bakit sila masigasig makialam sa pera ng gobyerno? NGO nga sila eh. Non-government organizations. Why were these NGOs, non-government organizations, so heatedly and passionately obsessed with government money? That is the question. Kaya ang tanong ko sa iyo ay, pumunta sa iyo si Jenny. Ako'y si Jenny, nakausap ko na si Director General at darating na ang pera ng mga senador na hawak ko. Si Evelyn De Leon, ganon din. According to your affidavit, halos araw-araw nakaparking na siya doon sa lobby ng TRC. Sinusundan niya yung paglabas ng pera para sa kanyang NGO. Hindi lang yata isa, marami yata. Hindi na ba pumasok sa ulo mo? May nangyayari ditong hindi ka nais-nais ah.
Yes, Your Honor. Kaya nga ho, at that time, nung pag may pumapasok ko sa akin na dokumento, I try to verify. Kasi yung time na ho na yun, binabypass na ho ko dun sa processing ng PDAF. related cases, transactions. Particularly, I'm relegated to regular office operations.
Ang problema natin dito, Mr. Cunanan, is, unlike Ruby Tuanson, you are saying that you are innocent. In the case of Mrs. Ruby Tuanson, the case for being a state witness was cut and dried. She said, nakisali ako tumanggap ako ng komisyon pasensyahin na ninyo ako, sa batas pwede naman akong ipasensya, basta sabihin ko lang buong katotohanan. In your case, you are applying for state witness, but unlike Mrs. Tuason, you don't want to admit that you were guilty of receiving kickbacks. Kaya the first question there is a question of credibility. Bakit ngayon gusto magsabi ng totoo na according to you, hindi ka tumanggap ng kickback? Kung hindi ka tumanggap, hindi masyadong intindi ang pinagsasabi mo. Dahil para ka magiging kasapi ng grupo o conspiracy tungkol sa kickback, kailangan tumatanggap ka rin. But I will pursue this now. Wala ka pa rin suspitsyo nang binisita ka ng Napoles at nang nakikita mo yung Evelyn De Leon sa lobby. Hindi ka pa nagsuspetso na mga gophers ito o mga naglalakad ng mga kickback.
Your Honor, I simply told them to go through the process. If the process is followed, and then everything will be properly handled by the center.
All right. I will accept that answer for now. Ganito kasi, bandang huli, dahil marami ka namang eskwelahan dinaanan May UP ka pa, may commerce ka, may law ka, may public ad ka. Alam nga namang wala kang kamuang-muang tungkol sa nangyayari. Bakit nandito itong mga taong ito tungkol sa pera ng gobyerno? Hindi naman sila opisyal ng gobyerno. At kung NGO sila, bakit hindi sila maghanap ng sarili nilang pera? Bakit sila mukhang dependente na masyado sa pera ng gobyerno? Ngayon, nang nakita mo ito, I think you reached a moral crossroads. And then you had to say to yourself, either I join the kickback conspiracy or I shall resign. But you did not do either one, according to your testimony. Bakit ka natili doon na may kickback doon? Dapat nag-resign ka o kaya binulgar mo na silang lahat dahil ayaw mong ginagawa nila. Pero mahirap paniwalaan na hindi ka tumatanggap. Nakikita mo ginagawa nila
Your Honor, when I mentioned in the affidavit, nung pong inabutan na ako na yung naging head ng office, yun nga po yung ginagawa namin. Yun ay po yung pinupursu namin.
Ay, hindi ako naniwala dyan. According to your own affidavit, nahuli na kayo ng Commission on Audit, binigyan na kayo ng babala ng COA, kaya ka ng Director General na, pina-blacklist mo ang mga NGO ni Napoles. Pero hindi ako naniwala na dahilan lang sa sarili mong kusa. Kung hindi, natakot na kayong lahat dahil binigyan na kayo ng ng warning ng Commission on Audit. So, I will not press that, but let me go on. Your camp claims that there is a demolition job against you. Whom do you suspect as the source of this black propaganda against you just before you testified here? Sino kaya? Ganyan ka karunong, ang dami mong dinaanan ng mga eskwelahan May alam ka. Sige na, let it go.
Yes, Your Honor. Most likely, lahat nitong nasa testimonya ko ngayon, potential na silang may kagagawan.
Sino yan? Pangalanan mo?
Ay, like ko yung sa testimonya
Si
ko
Enrile?
yun. Opo.
Si Revilla?
Opo.
Si Estrada?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ito pang sa listahan dito sa affidavit mo na 28 silang lahat. Itong mga congressmen na ito. Meron kang listahan dito
Yes, Your Honor.
Lahat yan sila?
Maaari po, Your Honor.
Oo. Basahin ko para sa walang kopya ng affidavit mo. Affidavit mo, page 14. Nandito yung 3 senador, tapos tingnan ko lang pinakamalaking mga halaga. Senator Revilla, 48.8 million. Congressman Rizalina Lanete, 47.1 million. Congressman Constantino Haraula, 38.4. Ganon kalalaki ang mga pera na pinadaan nila sa TRC. Ngayon, according to your affidavit, the TRC started receiving PDAF funds from senators and congressmen from 2005 up to 2008. In fact, may dumating pa nga na PDAF ng 2009. That's your affidavit.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. And the TRC, as we have said many times, was one of the implementing agencies authorized by law to accept pork barrel from the legislators and then designate the persons who would carry out the pork barrel project.
Yes, Your Honor.
according to your affidavit, hindi ikaw, nung hindi ka pa Director General, kung hindi, isang tao ng General Manager ng TRC na si Rosalinda Laksamana ang may hawak ng papel. Parang pinapalitaw mo sa affidavit mo, walang tiwala si Director General sa iyo. Si Director General Antonio Ortiz. Kaya, imbes na bigay niya sa iyo itong trabahong ito dahil deputy ka, binibigay niya sa General Manager. Parang ganon yon. At doon sa mga serbisyo ng TRC, may 5% na kinikita ang TRC pag niproseso nila itong mga papeles para sa pork barrel.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. In fact, in your affidavit, you say categorically, paragraph 4.5, quote, under this circular, Office of the Deputy Director General, referring to yourself, was stripped of participation in the implementation of PDAP-funded project, unquote. Bakit galit ba si Ortiz sa iyo? Si Ortiz, by the way, is also charged with plunder, no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Oh, iyan. Bakit mukhang ayaw kanyang makisama doon sa prosesong yon? Bakit gusto niya si Rosalinda Laksamana to use your own version?
Your Honor, una ho, prerogative niya yun as Director General. Pangalawa, gusto siguro nila na nasa circle na lang nila yung levels of operations for that.
Alright.
Kaya tinanggal ho ako.
Nandito ang isang whistleblower, no? My question to you is this. If you had no participation in the kickback scam at the TRC, are you calling these 7 whistleblowers as liars who have testified that you yourself received kickbacks? Natawag mo ba silang mga sinungaling?
No, Your Honor. No, Your
Harapin
Honor.
mo, ayan
no,
mo.
no, Your
Oh.
Honor. Hindi po.
Ikaw ba'y natutuwa kang tinawag kang liar? Ano?
Hindi
Takot
po.
ka?
Hindi po, Your Honor.
Hindi. Oh, you're calling each other liars, right? Mamaya, you settle it out of the
No,
plenary
Your
session.
Honor. We're not
But
po.
for now,
We're not po.
so in effect, as usual, like in a courtroom, although this is not a courtroom, we are not bound by the technical rules of evidence. In effect, we have to rely on your credibility. It becomes crucial to finding out whether the senators and the congressmen chose their NGOs or did not choose their NGOs and in fact are claiming they had nothing to do with it. Pero since you're a former law student, meron yatang mga 7 whistleblowers, itong sila Ben Horluy, etc. Tapos mag-isa ka lang. 7 sila at natawag mong mga sinungaling, tapos mag-isa ka lang sinasabi mong wala kang kasalanan? Anong base mo?
No, Your Honor. Hindi po ako nagsasabi ng gano'n. Doon po sa complaint, Your Honor, nakabanggit po doon na the reason why I'm being part of the complaint now is particularly more of my participation po doon sa pagsign ko doon sa mga vouchers, disbursement vouchers at saka checks. Doon po sa pagproseso ng mga dokumento. At pinapakita ko dito, Your Honor, ngayon, dun sa binabanggit po ninyo, sinasabi ko na nanggaling po talaga sa opisina ng legislator yung pag-endorse mismo ng NGO at saka po yung pagtutok sa amin na pagsabi na i-implement yung kanilang program kasama yung NGO na to. May chinews na po sila, doon pa lang po sa sulat nila.
That
Tapos
is the question.
pagdating po Your Honor nung kanilang project proposal, naka-identify din po yung NGO na gusto nila mag-implement. So
And that's
hindi
in
na po
writing,
nila kami
ha?
binigyan in writing po, Your
And
Honor,
that is
at
in
hindi po
writing.
nila kami binigyan na may PowerPoint nga po kami pin-prepare para ipakita na nanggaling po sa opisina nila, pirmado nila, pinadala po sa amin at sinasabi na may pondo kami padating, SARO number na ganito, implement nyo with this NGOs, implement nyo with this assigned NGO at sana implement nyo na mabilis.
Yeah.
Tapos po, Your Honor, susunod doon yung kanilang authorized representative, dala na yung mga project proposal at sinasabi na ganito yung gagawin. Meron nga po ako rito dahil binanggit nyo rin po, Your Honor, kinarir ko na rin po yung pag-aaral doon sa mga dokumento na pinadala ng ombudsman at lahat. Meron nga po may nakita rin po ako sa pagsasaliksik na mismo si Senator Juan Ponce Enrile, nag-endorse siya eh.
Wow!
Sumulat
Say the
po
magic
siya.
word. I'm very interested. What did he say?
Nasa PowerPoint po, sumulat po siya at sinabi niya sa isang implementing agency na may padating siya na pera at itong tao niya na to, sumunod ng sulat, nandun na ho yung NGO.
At natupad ayon sa
Opo, at
sinasabi niya.
natuloy, Your
Okay.
Honor. So the same situation po kami sa implementing agencies na sinasabi ko po ngayon na like for example po sa TRC. Kaya po ako na situate dito dahil ang sinasabi po, kami ang namili. Hindi po kami ang namili, Your Honor.
Right.
Dahil po nun, dinala po sa amin ang dokumento. Bago pa man, kaya ako po binanggit yung pagpunta nga ni Ms. Napoles doon sa opisina. Bago pa man po dumating yung pondo, may advance information na sila na sinasabi na may padating na pondo. Supposed to be po, Your Honor, the regular process is the fund should arrive at the center and the center will be the one to notify the legislator that there is such a fund that have arrived our center and please advise us how to proceed with it.
You're correct.
Ang nangyayari po, wala pa man po yung pondo, may representative na po nandun, dala-dala na po yung endorsement letter para daw po sabay-sabayan, pagdating ng pera, sabay-sabayan labas.
Very detailed. I congratulate you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I think they should have let you stay in UP. But anyway, you see I'm picking holes in your affidavit and then later on we'll return to the main topic of the 3 senators. Ngayon, you keep on emphasizing for the first maybe 10 pages of your affidavit that when you co-signed, as a co-signatory, when you signed the checks for the pork barrel funds of these senators and congressmen, you are only a co-signatory. Of course, the signatory was the Director General.
Yes, Your Honor. May circular po silang in-issue particular to that.
And you keep on emphasizing I was only performing my ministerial or peremptory function. Let me inform you, as a member of the bar, as a humble member of the bar, and as a professor of law, that even the Supreme Courts of the Philippines and the United States cannot distinguish between ministerial and discretionary. Why does that distinction become an issue? Only when you go to court and you ask the court to issue a writ of mandamus, which is a writ ordering a public official to perform a duty. That question then becomes relevant. Is the function of this public official mandatory or ministerial? Because if it's ministerial, then we can issue mandamus. But if it is discretionary, then we cannot issue mandamus because the law, by definition, gives to the official the discretion whether or not to do the function. Kaya, in the 2011 case of Luspo versus People, the Philippine Supreme Court said, quote, ministerial duty is one that requires neither the exercise of official discretion or judgment. It is practically a mechanical act. Hindi naman pwede, napipirma ka ng cheque, mechanical act. In the 2000 case of Souders v. Farmington City, a U.S. Supreme Court, U.S. authorities are authoritative in our country, although they are not determinative. The U.S. Court said, quote, a ministerial function is one of a clerical nature. Hindi ka naman pwedeng clerk ka, Director General ka without regard to his or her own judgment or opinion concerning the propriety of the act to be performed. So I debate you on this issue that you keep on repeating for 10 pages that you are only undertaking a ministerial duty. And let me inform you this. According to the jurisprudence on when a court can issue a writ of mandamus or an order to do or not to do something. A ministerial official discharging ministerial functions has no immunity from suit. So drop this angle about your ministerial duty. Tell your lawyer to read on it again.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because if you continue your argument that issuing checks ministerial, then you become subject. You lose your immunity, it becomes subject to litigation. Yan ha, maliwanag yan. Ngayon, this hearing is not focused on where the checks went. Instead, this committee is focused on whether the amounts on the checks were later reduced by kickbacks. Yun ang ating pagtatanong talaga Sana maganda itong palakad sa TRC. Ang question lang, pag dumating na sa TRC at ang mga legislador ng Kamara o ng Kongreso ang namili ng NGO, kumukuha sila ng kickback sa NGO. The issue is not, did the amounts go to kickbacks? Because that question is speculative and is out of order. I'm just asking for your opinion. Instead, my question is this. When you signed the checks, were you already aware from the prior actuations of the senators and others involved that the checks were being subjected to a conspiracy to obtain kickbacks? Nalaman mo na may proseso ng kickbacks doon. Nagpipirma ka bilang Director General.
At that time po, Your Honor, hindi pa. Kaya ako nung time ko na deputy, yung pong pag dumarating sa akin yung mga dokumentong ganyan, kaya ako nagbe-verify. At yun din po yung naging dahilan kung bakit natanggal po ako sa loop. Pati po yung signing na lang na yan na natira sa akin, na supposed to be part nung trabaho ko sa opisina, pati po yung signing na yan tinanggal sa akin, Your Honor.
Kita mo na, sinabi ko na sa iyo, let it go. Dahil you keep on insisting that you're innocent. So we'll have to keep on litigating about whether you're innocent or not. This is not a hearing about you. This is a hearing about, this is an inquiry in aid of legislation. Paano natin masara itong mga butas sa sistema? Dahil nagnanakaw sila ng daang milyon o daang bilyon na siguro.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ngayon, pagpalagay na natin na tama ka, although I already said I very respectfully disagree with you on whether signing checks is ministerial. Even so, since you were signing checks, why did you not take steps to avoid the deduction of those amounts by kickbacks? To be more specific, why did you not, either as Deputy or as Director General, set up an accreditation bureau so that the background papers to support a check could include a certificate of accreditation from the Bureau? Remember, in your affidavit, you pointed out to the fact that when a senator signed a memorandum of agreement, kasi kinakailangan sa TRC ganito, andyan ang pork barrel. Ngayon, si Senador na binigyan ng pork barrel, gagawa siya ngayon ng project proposal. Tapos dahil mahaba yan, may project summary. Tapos si Senador magpipirma ng endorsement niya. Pagkatapos magpipirma pa si Senador ng memorandum of agreement with the TRC. So, ba't hindi na lang kayo gumawa ng bureau na yun lang ang trabaho nila, i-check nila kung tama ba ng Senador ang nag-authorize nito? What standard of diligence did you use? Bakit kayo tawag sa telepono? But halimbawa, ang daming paraan dyan. You're a commerce graduate. You're a public administration graduate. Why didn't you think of any of multiple choices here? Like, for example, let's have a verification file for each senator with his picture, with his signature, like the bank, with his specimen signatures, and with his voice on the computer. Bakit ganun? Bakit ikaw ang tumatawag, pwedeng makausap si Senator X? Senator X, ito ba, representative mo ito? Ano ba naman yan? Napakasimple naman. It's like a childish device. But you're being paid as Director General to make sure that everybody works according to the Code of Ethics of Public Officials.
Your Honor, if I may, at that time po, I'm the deputy. And at that time, the Director General assigned a legislative liaison office. Yun po yung supposed to be nag-undertake ng mga yon.
Right.
Kaya po pag dumarating sa akin, even if meron ng report yung Legislative Liaison Office na okay na and everything, I still try my best to be diligently checking on these documents. And kaya ko tumawag. Actually po, trabaho ng Legislative Liaison Office yun nung panahon nung Deputy, nung Director General.
Ay, ba't tinawag mo? Sampal, kaliwa, kanan.
Kaya po, Your Honor, kaya po, Your Honor, if I may, nung pong ako na ang naging Director General, I did that. We did that, and COA even recognized that in their special audit report, Your Honor.
All right, let me quote you from your affidavit, page 6, paragraph 4. Quote, I did not know that the NGOs would falsify the records, unquote. Page 8, paragraph 15. Quote, our practice. Why? What does the law say? Why do you have to fall on practice?
Of course not.
Our practice was to always verify the signatures and endorsement letters by asking the legislators officially listed landline numbers. I find that perhaps barely capable of passing the minimum standard test. That should be the minimum. Ba't hindi ka gumawa ng maximum? Kailangan pupunta kami sa office ng senador, may dala kaming aming photographer, and pakuha kami ng sarili niyang signature, and I am present there, and we'll have a voice, a taped voice of the senator. So, for example, no? Ba't di ka naghingi ng power of attorney sa mga senador? Kasi dito sa affidavit mo, tawag ako dito kay senator na ito ba yung authorized representative mo, tawag naman ako dito. Ay, ba't hindi ka na lang maghingi ng power of attorney, whether it was a general power or a specific power of attorney?
Your Honor, as I mentioned ho, napaka-limited ho nung aking participation nga doon time na yon dahil nga supposed to be a function ng legislative liaison officer ho yon. So, extra effort na ho on my part to verify, to check. kaya ho
President ka ng JCI, ng cases.
Kaya po nung time na yun, nag-extra effort nga ako to check and to verify. Especially po, kung hindi yung mismo legislator yung nakapirma, to check and to verify.
Nagmamadali ako. I'm sorry. Page 9, paragraph 17.1. Quote, Senator Revilla himself even took the call and confirmed to me that he authorized Attorney Richard Cambe, unquote. Page 10, paragraph 17.2. Quote, I was ultimately able to speak to Attorney Reyes, and she confirmed that she and Attorney Evangelista were duly authorized by Senator Enrile, unquote. Page 11, paragraph 17.5, quote, I was certain I was talking to said senators because I recognized their respective voices. In your affidavit, you said, kilala ko ang boses ng Estrada at ng Revilla kasi mga artista sila eh. Madalas kong narinig.
Yes,
What about Gigi Reyes? She's not an actress.
When we
Or
called-
at least, Christina Enrile claims that she is, but I don't think so.
Your Honor, as I mentioned earlier po, we deal with the Office of the Legislator. So when we called po the Office of the Legislator and they said that the Chief of Staff will be talking to us, and knowing that the Chief of Staff is the alter ego of the Senator, and knowing that whatever the Chief of Staff says and whatever the Chief of Staff do is an instruction from the principal. So when I talked to the Chief of Staff, in-endorse po sa akin nung nakausap ko sa phone. Sabi ko, we're verifying if Attorney Evangelista is really authorized to sign documents in behalf of the Senator. Sabi po nila, you talk to the Chief of Staff. So they passed the telephone to the Chief of Staff, and the
Alright.
Chief of Staff said,
You've taken up law.
she is po.
Will the court accept a telephone conversation as direct evidence?
It can be, Your Honor.
Answer? Nanguhula
Yes,
ka
sir.
eh. Anong
Yes, yes,
basis
sir.
mo? Tama ang hula mo.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor. Kasi po, rules of court, Your Honor. Kasi po ako yung
Walang
tumawag.
rules of court. Ikaw naman. Pinagbigyan na kita, huwag ka naman nabobola. Law. Testimony identifying the accused by recognition of his or her voice is regarded as direct evidence. Maswerte tayo ah. State v. Plyler in South Carolina. Witness was able to identify the voice of the accused may testify that the statements made on the telephone are statements of the accused. Williams v. State in the Texas Criminal Appellate Court. Ngayon, sa affidavit mo, kinausap mo personal sa telepono itong si Senator Estrada at si Senator Revilla, no? Eh, ba't nakontento ka na si Chief of Staff Attorney Gigi Reyes lang na kausap mo? Ba't hindi mo kinausap ng personal si Senator Enrile? Para pantay silang tatlo. Why did you make an exception for Gigi Reyes when you testified earlier? I talked and recognized the voices of these two senators because they are movie actors. Eh, si Reyes nga, hindi nga artista eh. Paano mo ngayon masigurado na she was acting for and on behalf of Senator Enrile?
With all due respect, Your Honor, ang hinahanap ko talaga yung kung sino pwede mag-certify. So I'm in the impression na kung Chief of Staff, nung pungso kay Senator Revilla at kay Senator Estrada, napasa po sa kanila yung phone. Hindi ko po sila talaga hinanap. I was just looking for an authorized representative, like Chief of Staff, particularly minimum Chief of Staff, na makapag-certify at makapag-validate. Kasi hindi po mga Chief of Staff yung kanilang i-designate. Si Atty. Cambe, hindi po Chief of Staff.
Pauline Labayan.
Si Pauline, hindi ho Chief of Staff. Si Atty. Evangelista, hindi rin Chief of Staff.
Ano nakataon lang na nakausap mo itong dalawang senador?
Opo. Kaya nung pinasa po, nung sinabi po dun sa line nung tumawag kami na sinabi na ito, makakapag-authorize. Nung sinabi po niya yon na siya ang Chief of Staff at siya may authority, kasabi ko, pwede nyo bang padala ng authority? Pinadala naman po at
Hindi
sumulat.
mo ba sinubukan na pwede mo makausap si Senator Enrile? Maski andyan si Chief of Staff niya?
I have the impression, Your Honor, na being the Chief of Staff, the Senator knows what the Chief of Staff will be telling me and will be
Not necessarily,
confirming
I'm
with
telling
me.
you. I'm a senator and I've had various chiefs of staff. Don't make that dangerous presumption. Well, anyway. Page 10 of your affidavit, paragraph 17.4, quote, both Senators Revilla and Estrada admonished me because they thought the TRC was purportedly, quote, delaying, unquote, the projects. Kaya pinagalitan ka pa pala. Sabay ba silang nagalit sa iyo sa telepono o isa-isa?
Isa-isa po, Your Honor.
Alright, if that is the case, when they're talking of delay, what was the regular processing time at the TRC for the pork barrel of senators?
Kung susundan ho yung regular process na lahat ho yan, Your Honor. It will take maybe about a month, supposed
A
to be.
month,
Yes.
30 days, no?
Opo, opo.
Ngayon, meron ka bang alam na mga kaso na lumampas sa 30 days? Paminsan-minsan, madalas, or whatever your answer might be.
Wala po, Your Honor.
Wala naman.
masyado.
Eh, bakit galit itong dalawang senador? Gusto nila mas maikli ng sa 30 days?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hindi pa naman nalampasan ng 30 days.
Yes, Your Honor.
Pero galit na sila. Oh, pagtatanong, bakit sila galit at nagmamadali?
For the release daw po nung project, Your Honor.
Hindi sila makahintay?
Yes.
Oh. Next, I'm trying to get over this. Page 12, paragraph 17.8. Most of, quote, you are saying, most of the time it was the legislators themselves who personally followed up on the status of releases, unquote. These are all quotations from your affidavit. Some congressmen and or their authorized representatives even go to the extent of personally lobbying at the center for the immediate release of checks to their selected NGOs. Some legislators, pinangalanan mo pa, like Representative Eduardo Roquero, even stayed and waited the whole day at the center. Congressman siya, nakaparking siya doon dahil hinantay niya ang pera. Question, who are those who personally lobbied at the TRC? Sa maalala mo lang ngayon. Maliban kay Eduardo Roquero, sino pa?
Your Honor, base ho dito sa listahan na meron na sinabit ko nga dito, like sina Congressman Nieva, Congressman Chongbian, yung mga ganyan, nagpa-follow po sila doon. Tapos yung iba, yung mga representative nila, yung mga chief of staff nila.
Okay. May security logbook ba kayo sa TRC?
Ay, Your Honor, that is the first thing I did to look for when I assume as Director General.
Well, bravo.
Opo.
But now, answer the question. Hanggang ngayon, meron pa bang security logbook?
Ngayon po meron, yung pumpas na wala na.
Alright.
Hindi ko na po inabutan.
Meron bang CCTV doon sa lobby ng TRC para makita natin itong mga tao?
Wala po kami sa budget nung time na yon. Nung ngayon po meron na kami sa time ko. Nagpalagay na po kami.
Next point. In their counter affidavits filed in the Ombudsman, Senators Revilla and Estrada claim that you are a liar, that the documents you presented with their signatures are all forgeries, and they even presented handwriting experts. Ngayon, yun ang mga sinasabi nila. Pero nabasa ko, kung totoo na pinirmahan nila ito, in their memoranda of agreement, there is a certain clause. The senator shall warrant that the foundation is a legitimate and bona fide entity with a good track record and is capable of implementing the training and livelihood projects. Parehong nagpirma ng ganito si Estrada at si Revilla. Sinasabi mo ngayon na tunay na pinirmahan nila yan, sinasabi nila someone forged their signatures. But it's not a court of justice, so we don't need to go into the question of who is telling the truth. Pero ang pagtatanong ko sa iyo ay, sa dami-dami ng papeles nila, dahil marami silang pinadaan sa TRC, hindi lang isa eh. Lahat ba ng signatures na yan maaaring magiging forged? Kaya ba i-forge lahat yun?
Your Honor, yun nga po yung position ko rin. Dahil kung titignan niyo yung mga dokumento, hindi lang po isa o dalawa yan. Ang dami yung mga dokumento na pare-pareho. Kung magkaiba man ang signature, pumunta na po tayo doon sa dulo. Nung binerify ang signature, for example, dito po kay Senator Revilla, nung binerify ho ng COA, July 8, 2011, yung mga signatures niya, dito sa mga napakaraming mga dokumento na nakalagay yung pirma niya, nung binerify po yan ng COA, tapos sumulat pa uli noong May 30, 2012, sumagot po yung kanilang opisina at sinabi na authentic yung mga dokumento. So, Your Honor,
Sino nagpirma naman nung
si Senator Revilla din po nakapirma.
siya? Sabihin niya eh, forged din pati yun.
So, ang sulat po, naka-address sa opisina niya, at yung opisina po niya sumulat dito sa COA, ibig sabihin po yung nagpo-forge ng signature ay nasa opisina niya.
Well,
Ayun
that
po
is
yung,
entirely
ayun po yung
possible.
sulat, Your Honor. So,
Right.
kumpleto po pati yung kung ano yung number ng pinanggalingan sa opisina niya.
Okay,
Kaya,
point taken. Next question. You said in your affidavit, page 32, paragraph 31, you're talking of the documents submitted to support the pork barrel projects of Senators Estrada and Revilla. You say, quote, this clearly shows that the drafts of documents both for the two senators were apparently prepared by one and the same person or group. supporting the theory that what happened with PDAF-funded projects of Senators Revilla and Estrada was part of a grand conspiracy to plunder public funds. I'm very interested in your theory of the conspiracy because, as you know, being a law student, in conspiracy, the law says that the act of one is the act of all. You don't really have to take part in the crime as long as there is a unity of design and there is unanimity in the mindset. Pay attention to me kung sino-sino.
I'm listening po, Your Honor.
You're listening to me with your back turned. That's very unusual. Anyway,
Sorry, Your Honor.
I'm just being facetious. Ngayon, my conspiracy, this for me is one of the key provisions of your affidavit. What happened with the PDAF-funded projects of Senators Revilla and Estrada was part of a grand conspiracy kasi yung mga papeles nila pare-pareho. Parehong paggawa, parehong lengguwahe, parang nagkopyahan lang sila. Parang ganon ang sinasabi mo. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
If I
Ngayon,
may...
kung may conspiracy, sino sa tingin mong mastermind? Hindi mo malaman?
Opo.
Alright.
Ang nandito po kasi kaya nasabi ko yan, Your Honor.
Alright.
Yung lahat ng project proposal nila, dun sa number 2 ng kanilang project proposal, nakalagay project description. Yung wrong spelling po, imbes na I, naging E, naging I.
Pati wrong spelling kinopya pa.
Lahat po sila pare-pareho na ganun. Na wrong spelling yung kanilang project description, naglagay project description, Your Honor.
Alright. Now, let's go to the most important question of all. I will accept your answer that they are virtually the one and the same. They were copied from a template because I read the affidavits. Okay. What about si Enrile? Kamukha rin ba ang mga papeles niya sa papeles itong dalawa o magkaiba?
Magkamukha rin po yung sa project description, Your Honor.
Yung verbiage niya, yung pagkagawa ng mga sentences and paragraphs niya, ganon din. Nagkopyahan silang tatlo.
Yes, Your Honor.
So part rin siya ng conspiracy. Siya ang pinakamatanda sa kanila. Hindi ba? 90 na siya. Siya ang pinaka-senior dahil naging Senate President siya. Kaya sino sa tingin mo ang leader o mastermind ng plunder?
Mahirap po magsalita, Your Honor, pero pare-pareho yung
Let it
level
go. Last. In your paragraph, page 34, paragraph 41, quote, when I spoke to Enrile's COS, Attorney G. Reyes, she in fact confirmed and affirmed not only her and Attorney Evangelista's authority to sign documents, she likewise confirmed authenticity of the signatures appearing in documents relating to Senator Enrile's PDAF-funded projects, unquote. That is from your affidavit.
Yes, Your Honor.
Question. Bakit tanggap na tanggap mo na si Reyes could speak and act on behalf of Senator Enrile when this action and language involved hundreds of millions of government funds in the form of pork barrel? Bakit tanggap na tanggap mo maski hindi mo nakausap si Enrile? Anong base mo na tatanggapin mong pinagsasabi?
As I mentioned earlier, Your Honor, kadil po namin yung opisina ni Senator Enrile. So,
I'm sorry, what did you say?
kadil po namin yung office po, yung opisina ni Senator.
Kadil.
So, yung kausap po namin, Office of the Senator. So, Office ni Senator Enrile. So, based dun sa Office po ni Senator Enrile, ang agent na kumakausap po sa amin yung kanyang Chief of Staff, na sabi na may authority.
Okay. Now I come to the climax of my interpellation. Nang nag-testify dito si Ruby Tuason, sabi niya, sinusundo sa akin ang kickback ni Gigi Reyes. Kung minsan, kakain kami sa restaurant, saka ko ibigay sa kanyang pera. Ganon sabi niya. Pagkatapos, kung minsan kanya, pag nasa restaurant kami, normally a hotel, darating si Senator Enrile dahil sinusundo niya si Gigi. Kung minsan, nagkakape pa kaming tatlo. Pero wala naman siyang binabanggit tungkol sa pork barrel. Kaya ang ibig lang sabihin nito, kung totoo man ang sinasabi ng Tuason, na si Enrile, ayaw na ayaw niya na mahuli siya na nakikialam sa pork barrel. Lahat binibigay niya doon sa Chief of Staff niya. Ang Chief of Staff niya ang makiusap, ang maglagda, ang mag-areglo, mag-ayos ng mga dokumento. pero wala siyang participation, except that he picks up his chief of staff and sometimes even has coffee. Ganon ang testimony ni Tuason. Ngayon sa iyo namang testimony, wala naman din siyang ginagawa. Ayaw kanyang kausapin sa telepono, unlike the other two senators. Kung hindi, iniiwan niya lahat kay Gigi Reyes. Ngayon, paano natin ngayon masabi na si Enrile ay part of the conspiracy maliban doon sa sinabi mo na mga dokumento nila like their project proposals, project summaries, endorsement letters, memoranda of agreement, pagkapareho. Parang sinundan lang ang example, ang modelo or ang template. Ngayon, paano natin masabi na part ng conspiracy si Enrile?
Your Honor, I have 2 points on that, if I
Alright.
may be allowed. First, mayroon naman po atang paniwala na hindi niya alam kung ano nangyayari. Dahil
That's
nagagamit
right.
po sa opisina
It
niya
goes
lahat ng mga
against the
transaction.
grain of
Opo.
common sense. Isn't
Opo.
that so?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, ano pa?
Pangalawa po, Your Honor, may mga sulat uli, ipa-fast forward ko lang po, may mga sulat uli ang COA na nag-request kay Senator Enrile to verify the signatures and all the documents that were signed in behalf of his office. At lahat po ng mga yon, nandiyan po sa PowerPoint, lahat po na from sa sulat po yan ng COA na pinadala sa kanilang opisina, binerify po yan sa opisina nila at inaccept po ni Senator na Enrile na valid.
Enrile.
Opo, inaccept po ni Senator
Para
Enrile.
makirinig ng mga botante.
Opo. So, binalidate po niya na authentic at signature ng mga tao niya. Ibig sabihin, the fact that
Siya mismo.
inauthenticate po niya na signature ng mga tao niya, alam po na ginawa ng mga tao niya.
Very good.
Your Honor.
Thank you. Ngayon, let me add one more very important point. In a basic decision of the Supreme Court on conspiracy, the Supreme Court said, maaari na walang ginawa siya. Nagmukha siyang hindi kasali pero nandyan siya. O, yan ang ginagawa ni Enrile. Pero sabi ng Korte Suprema, hindi sapat. Napapawalang sala siya just because hindi niya sinaksak o hindi niya binaril o hindi niya kinuha yung mga ninakaw nila. Basta may conspiracy, the guilt of one is the guilt of all. Plus, here is the key. And the Supreme Court laid down this test. Dapat pinakita nitong akusado na he tried to prevent the crime. That is the test, as we say in law. Ngayon, nag-usap itong si Ruby Tuason at si Gigi Reyes, na Chief of Staff niya, tungkol sa kickbacks. Did he try to prevent the crime? Apparently, according to the testimony of Ruby Tuason, he didn't do anything. He even had coffee to celebrate. At maring pupunta siya para sigurado niya hindi siya nanakawan ni Gigi Reyes para kuha na niya kaagad. Pag nagpunta na sila sa kotse, hati na sila kaagad. Oh, ngayon, dito naman sa sinasabi mong Enrile signature, validating everything that his chief of staff did, no? Did you see or hear or read anything that indicated that Enrile was washing his hands of pork barrel kickbacks from Gigi? In other words, that Gigi was acting independently of her boss? Answer me.
Wala po, Your Honor.
Wala. Repeat for the record, please.
Wala po, Your Honor.
No. N-O. I think 2 days ago, Mrs. Enrile gave a TV interview, which is now viral, where she said, I wanted to divorce my husband. According to my notebook, he had 38 mistresses. But the longest relationship was with Attorney Gigi Reyes. That's why I couldn't stand it anymore. In other words, this couple, the Enriles, are trying to make Gigi Reyes a stand-alone culprit for all the kickbacks that he received under the pork barrel schedule. The effect of this news on me as a bystander is that apparently the Enrile camp is engaged in a lurid scheme that was masterminded, or even, let me change the tense, that is masterminded by a person I can only call a sexually dysfunctional old man, a pedophile. Kasing hilig niya, si Gigi Reyes is half his age. To take the criminal blame not only for his plunder, but also for his moral turpitude in the sense of sexual addiction openly displayed as a public official. Paano mo pagkatiwalaan ang tao na pinagmamalaki niya na 38 ang kirida niya? Ilan kaya ang anak nitong taong ito? Paano natin pagkatiwalaan ang 100 milyon o bilyon na piso? Lalo nang siyang arkitekto ng martial law. Ang tapang ng matanda na yan. Kung bata-bata lang yan, patay na isa sa amin yan eh. For me, as a humble friend of this young woman, Attorney Gigi Reyes, whom I knew because I was RTC judge when she was a law student in UP, her professor in procedure told the class to observe my proceedings in my courtroom. That's how I got to know her. And throughout her entire length of duty here in the Senate, she never showed me anything but a pleasant and accommodating disposition. So I grieve as a neighbor and as a friend of Attorney Gigi Reyes that she's now being, in Tagalog, hinuhulog. Na siya na lang ang may kasalanan. Halimbawa, kamukha mo, sa testimony mo, ang lahat ng kausap mo at lahat ng may hawak ng papeles tungkol sa pork barrel, itong si Gigi Reyes. Fina-front siya ni Enrile. Alam nga namang UP graduate siya, papasok siya sa gulo ng ganyan, mag-isa niya. Ay di natural, may pagkasunduan sila na kung ano yung utos ng amo niya, susundin niya. I think that the best revenge for Attorney Gigi Reyes, since I know she will watch this on YouTube, is Attorney Gigi, return the money that Enrile stole, because I'm sure that Attorney Gigi is in charge of the safekeeping of these illegitimate funds which need to be laundered abroad. And then turn the tables on really by coming home and turning into a state witness. Do you have any opinion on this? Don't answer the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago. Okay. At this point, can we have the screen up, please? Senator Grace Poe will continue, but she has agreed to let Senator Bam Aquino go.